Hi guys, Merts here, bringing you another Path of Exile video. So, magre-react tayo dito sa bagong update. Kaka-drop lang nito. Yung Secrets of the Atlas. Yan, so konting background check lang. So, we started December 14 playing Path of Exile. And we stopped at the end of Frisia, basically. So I have 1,620 hours on this game. So yeah, let's go. Secrets of the
Hi,
Atlas.
I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games, and today we're here to showcase a new expansion for PoE 1. It's certainly been too long since we had one of these. Now, we had some struggles as a studio for a little while there, but we've got our shit together and we're
Settlers of Kalgur anniversary.
back in action now. Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas is coming out 1 week from now on the 13th of June, and we're committing right now to a 4-month cycle for both PoE 1 and 2. That means the next PoE 2 League will be in August, and the next PoE 1 League after that will be in October.
Oh,
Twitch drops are enabled on today's livestream, so you'll be able to claim your Skull of Undeath helmet skin by following the instructions below. This Skull of Undeath will track and show your total number of kills, deaths, and your KDR. Just because Path of Exile isn't a first-person shooter doesn't mean this isn't important. Proudly or shamefully, link it to your friends or in global chat to show it off. And with that,
Kill
let's get to
deaths
why you're
of
here. Secrets of
monsters,
the
I
Atlas.
guess. Damn, I should
You can
have
search
watched
1,000
Twitch.
worlds
God
and
damn
still
it.
never truly discover who you are. Trust me. I should know. But now, I seek something more tangible. Someone I care for, trapped within the Atlas. Reliving memories, made real.
What have you done?
Made grotesque.
Zana,
Made foul.
back.
These manifestations must be destroyed.
Wait, that's a new boss.
Their threads must be eradicated. I must have answers.
Bruh, that's a new boss.
We must find the originator. We must save my sister.
New endgame mechanic.
Is an illusion made real.
New pinnacle boss. New crafting mechanics. Completed things. The fuck does that mean?
Come, child. Drink deep the waters of life.
And born into the
Either a client or a target.
mercenaries of Tartu.
Just done.
Your sanity is
The new
not
bosses look
promised to
good.
you here.
June 13. We're gonna play the shit out of this.
Hi, I'm Mark
New
Roberts,
update,
Game
bro.
Director on Path of Exile. As you just saw from the trailer, there's a lot to show you. Today, we will take you on a deep dive into the new Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas endgame update. Then, we'll explore the new Challenge League, the Mercenaries of Trathus.
Alright.
After that, we'll cover the integration of gold into PoE 1 and how we're bringing Settlers of Kalgur into the core game. Finally, we have a much-awaited upgrade to Betrayal League and a set of quality of life improvements. Then, we'll wrap up by
Betrayal.
discussing our Boss Kill race event, showing you our new supporter packs, and ending with a live Q&A session where
Fucking
Ziggy D will ask
Betrayal
Jonathan
League.
and I your
Fuck me
questions
in
from
the
Twitch
ass.
chat.
In Frisia.
In Path of Exile Secrets of the Atlas, strange rifts have begun to appear across the Atlas. Zana has returned and appears to be trapped within.
Hey, Zana.
Partway through the endgame, you will meet Egan, an intelligent man of mysterious heritage. These tears in reality he has discovered
Got 2
are
veiled
actually
orb
threads of
on
memory,
like
distorted and
30
made real
rank.
by the Atlas.
Fucking
Egan is
betray.
able to create a link to these memory
Piece of
threads
shit.
and open portals to them. Working with Egan, you must step through and find Zana, or whatever remains of her.
What?
Okay, so that's the story background, but how does this expansion actually work? In The Secrets of the Atlas, the pursuit of Zana with Egon is a new storyline that is introduced in high-tier maps. Upon meeting Egan and discovering the tier, he will then transfer it to your map device and reveal this on your atlas, a thread
Oh.
of memories. In order to now
It's like
access
the
each map on the thread,
Harvest
you
Beast.
simply need to talk to Egan when you're ready, and he'll open the areas in sequence. These areas can be fully influenced by your atlas tree,
The fuck?
scarabs, fragments, and everything of the sort.
What the fuck?
As you work your way along the thread, you will discover that these maps have manifested dangerous threats, influenced by the memories of Zana herself. Monsters here are imbued with memory petals. Defeat them to absorb this power, which can be unleashed as a special ability during combat. Different maps on the thread have different abilities,
Alright.
and these abilities appear on an additional mini skill bar next to your regular skills. For example, Memory of Disbelief will cause all affected monsters to stop dropping equipment items, meaning they can now only drop more valuable items, like currency and maps. Memory of Panic will make all affected monsters revive immediately after death, which means you can get twice as much experience and drops from them. And Memory of Impatience will cause all surrounding enemies to give you their souls, temporarily increasing your power. As you progress further into
We're
the thread
gonna
of
do
memories,
that.
the maps can have more than one memory, and thus you can have more than one powerful ability. As you gather memory petals, you can use these powers together. Each skill costs its own amount of memory petals. So using the examples above, you can first use Memory of Impatience to become way more powerful, then use Memory of Panic to prepare them to revive when they are slain, then use Memory of Disbelief to cause them to drop better, more valuable items.
What the fuck?
Finally, obliterate them all. The Memory of Panic will kick in, causing them to revive, and then wipe them
That's
out
cool.
again, allowing you to get all
Fucking
the
awesome.
experience and enhanced drops twice. There are many combinations of these powers, so you'll have to carefully consider how they best work together. That's not the only extra layer of content juicing these maps offer.
You're
As you defeat the
excited
boss
for
of
the
each
new
map along the
mechanics.
thread, you are presented with an altar. This altar will apply a modifier to all following maps in the thread, and these will stack as you go. So the deeper you delve into a memory, the more mods you will have. This, combined with the special abilities, will allow for some of the most juice maps ever run in Path of Exile.
Nice.
Let's take a look at some of the altar
That's
mods.
what we want to hear.
You are always presented with two choices and must pick one. This mod, for example, will cause some rare
Because
monsters to be
the
possessed by
idols were
tormented
insane,
spirits,
bro.
where this mod makes Kerak modifiers free to craft.
It was so much fun.
Both of these apply to all
The
subsequent
idols.
maps in the thread. The final map in each thread is a true challenge, with all the altar mods applying to it and guarded by a powerful boss.
The deceitful
Each of
god.
these bosses are familiar, but dreamlike,
Just
drawn from Zana's memories and warped by the Atlas into something very different and terrifying. In this
Innocent.
map, you will fight the pinnacle boss, Cirrus. Fueled by Zana's affectionate memories of him, his enhanced abilities can prove to be a unique challenge.
the fuck.
If you manage to
Hadouken.
defeat Cirrus, or one of the other warped memory bosses,
A red
they will drop a
Hadouken.
map fragment, which Egan can use to delve deeper into the memory tiers. With these, you can access a set of 3 new pinnacle bosses. In this arena, the Moment of Reverence, Zana is reliving a memory of her
Nice.
father, Valdo, giving a passionate speech in Oriath. The Atlas distorts this memory of her father as a powerful, influential man and manifests those emotions into a twisted nightmare, the incarnation of dread.
What the fuck?
Another memory created as the incarnation of neglect and the incarnation of fear. Good luck, Exiles. Of course,
die.
if you are brave and strong enough to defeat them, each of these new pinnacle bosses have new unique items befitting them. If you slay the incarnation of fear,
Level 20 Starfall. 17 all stats. Physical, critical, AoE. Hmm.
you might be lucky enough to find the Star Caller unique Abyssal Axe. We're gonna show this one because it's straight up badass.
For Cyclone.
The Star Caller
Elemental
Axe is a
Cyclone.
weapon that can
Yeah.
harness the power of the stars
I'm right,
themselves
bro.
to deal immense damage. What makes it shine, however, is that on melee crit, it casts Starfall, a new skill. With the right build, you can carpet entire areas and wipe out screens of enemies as you rain
Bruh,
down the
we
elements
go
upon them.
Cyclone.
Another item you may find,
I
and this
think.
one is my favorite, is the
League
Wine of the
Start
Prophet
Cyclone.
unique flask. It consumes a lot of charges,
What is this? Rarity. Random divination.
but every time you use it, you draw a random divination card. This card appears above you and correlates to a powerful buff. If you draw
Wait,
the
that's
escape
new.
card, you'll gain increased movement speed. Or maybe you'll
It's
draw the
new.
Doctor, which will cause you to gain the modifiers of slain rares you kill. Effectively,
The
you can
fuck?
think of this unique as being many other uniques all in one. There are many cards
Insta-
to draw, each
Insta Headhunter.
with varying degrees of power to grant.
The fuck?
Okay, but let's get back to the Atlas.
I guess
After
Headhunter's
defeating all
garbage.
3 new
na.
pinnacle bosses, you'll be able to find new memory-influenced Tier 16 maps. These maps come with the previously mentioned special abilities and monsters infused with memory pedals, but can also roll the same modifiers typically found on Tier 17 maps, making them far more rewarding. With all these new memory maps comes a new item mechanic. Items in these maps can drop with memory strands, and will have a random amount, up to 100. This does a few things. When you identify the item, it will increase the tiers of modifiers your item has. Generally speaking, the more memory strands,
What?
the better the item will be. On top of this, whenever you're crafting that item using currency orbs to replace or add modifiers, such as alterations, chaos, and so forth, it will consume some memory strands to make the crafted mods more powerful.
Oh shit. That's amazing.
The new pinnacle bosses also drop new crafting currencies, which can be used to manipulate the amount of memory strands on an item. The Orb of Remembrance will let you add memory strands to any normal equipment. So if you have your perfect base to craft on, and it doesn't already have memory strands, you can add some before crafting it. The Orb of Unraveling
Alright.
will consume all remaining memory strands on an item to randomly upgrade its mod tiers. This orb's effectiveness is based on the number of memory strands it consumes. All remaining memory strands on an item to randomly doesn't already have memory
Fuck is that
strands,
orb?
you can add some before crafting it. The Orb of Unraveling will consume
Orb
all
of
remaining
Unraveling. Fuck, man.
you can add some before crafting it. The Orb of Unraveling
Usual memory influence on an item to attempt to upgrade the tier of explicit modifiers based on the number of memory strands consumed. Hmm.
will consume all remaining memory strands on an item to randomly
Hmm. Could be good. 11% chaos. Didn't upgrade that. 19 fire. Didn't upgrade that either.
upgrade its mod tiers. This orb's effectiveness is based on the number of memory strands it consumes. The Orb of Intention.
Wait. Can you put another stack of memory strands and then use it again and again? If so, that's gonna be crazy.
Can be used on memory influence maps to reduce item drops, but improve the chance to find items with memory strands. In the process of adding these new currency items, we realized something was missing. The Shaper and the Elder did not have their own Exalted Orbs. This has now been rectified. Both bosses now have Exalted Orbs, which can add their influence to an item. Zana was there from the beginning. When the Shaper Pinnacle fight was first added,
Bro.
she helped defeat the Elder,
Elder Shaper influence.
and she was a critical part of the Conqueror's storyline. Now, with all 6 influence types having their own Exalted Orbs, the cycle is
Damn.
complete. It's almost as if we could now do some sort of new, epic, unique item to interact with them. In other news, there of course has to be Atlas passive tree support for this new
Of
endgame
course, there's
content.
gonna be one.
Let's take a look at a few things we're adding. The Grasp the Past notable passive skill increases the chance for the amount of memory strands on items dropped in your memory influence maps to be lucky. This means it will roll the number of memory strands twice, keeping the highest value.
Oh shit!
By
nice.
allocating traumatic experience,
That's gonna be
remembered
good.
kindness, or educated upbringing, you'll decrease the chance of finding memory threads that lead to specific bosses, meaning you'll have better chances at finding the memory threads you would like to run. This is especially useful if you want to target farm a specific boss because of its unique item drops. In sum, the secrets of the Atlas will have you questioning what is real as you attempt to free Zana from warped memories scattered throughout the Atlas. You'll fight new Guardian and Pinnacle bosses tormenting her, find crazy new Pinnacle uniques, combine and unleash memory petal empowered skills, juice maps to new heights, and craft powerful new items. While we were showing all the juicy
So
rewards from the new
fucking cool,
in-game
bro.
system, you might have noticed that a lot of gold was dropping. Let's talk about that. Gold was introduced
gold
during the Settlers of
optimization.
Kalgur expansion. It funded the development and operations of King's March, along with various new features such as the currency exchange,
Yes, sir.
the black market, and the passive respec system with Faustus.
Faustus the goat.
Those features offered by Faustus will be here to stay, along with some of the other
Nice.
services King's March has to offer. We'll get more into that later, but don't worry, King's March has already been completed. There will be no more town building.
What?
Like before, gold will be used for town services, but we're also adding a new way to use it in the upcoming league. It's time to talk about Mercenaries of
What the
Trathus.
fuck?
In this league, you will
There's
meet
gonna be
veterans who have
mirror
traveled
shards
all the
all
way from the
over.
lawless cities of Trathus.
Bro,
They're ready to offer their sinister services,
shipping
but
is
not for
gonna
free.
be crazy.
You will encounter these mercenaries as you journey through Rayclast, one in each area. They have their own personalities and come with different builds, skills, and items already equipped. After meeting them, as per the Trathan code, they will challenge you to a duel, a test of strength and conviction. Before beginning the duel, you will be
hell?
offered an overview of the mercenary you've encountered. Here, you can see the gear they have equipped, the skills they employ,
Okay.
and any support effects augmenting those skills. You must now make a choice. You can hire their services, take one of their items, or exile them. If you choose to hire them, for a gold cost, they will accompany you as a skilled combatant to assist you in fighting monsters throughout Rayclast. Once you've decided, you can begin the duel. This is a
You
great
gonna kill
opportunity
them.
to test them, as you don't want to be out of pocket with a useless rookie. However, they're testing you too. They also don't want to be working for an amateur. So, what items might they be using? Generally speaking, Mercenary gear is more powerful than what you'd normally find from defeating monsters, as they've been crafting their items too. They can
Okay.
also come equipped with unique items, those that would make sense for the skills they are using. There are even some new unique items that can only be obtained from defeating them. One such unique is Scorn Flux.
What? 10 int mana. Ooh, all res. Gain arcane surge when you use a movement skill. That's good.
These boots combine agility with the
No movement speed though. So it's, I think, starter
mastery
gear.
of the arcane. While equipped, increases to cast speed from Arcane Surge also apply to movement speed, which is worth noting is now 20% inherently from Arcane Surge, up from 10. They also grant Arcane Surge when you
Oh.
use a movement skill. This allows for some speedy spellcasters. Sometimes you may meet
Oh, it-
particularly
Arcanes are just innate movement. I haven't used this spell. I only played Minion, Cyclone, and Mana Forge arrows in those 1,620 hours. So, the fuck? It's only cast speed and mana regen. Anyway,
infamous Trathan mercenaries, bearing the name of their house. These mercenaries descend from the 4 major death trade families in Trathis. They are less common, but have far better items. And they are also the sole source of items with new, infamous modifiers, unseen before in Rayclast, such as these gloves, which convert
damn.
all of your minions' fire damage to chaos damage. Or this helmet, which causes nearby enemies to take more physical damage as you gain more fortification.
Bro. That's gonna be insane on Cyclone. Holy shit. Nice.
If you're not swayed by any of their equipped gear, however, you can always challenge them for the contents of their pockets. If you lose the duel, don't worry. You don't need to give them an item. You aren't bound to Trathan tradition like they are. However, you are bound to Rayclass tradition, so you'll just die.
Almost at me. Well, not
Lost
really.
XP.
While playing in a party, each player can decide whether or not they want to participate in combat against the mercenary. For each player that opts in, the mercenary gets more difficult. But if they're defeated, each player has a 50% chance to get a random reward, which is usually currency items from the mercenary's pouch. Alternatively, party members that opt out of the fight can spectate and cheer you on. Or they might wish for your demise, so they can pick up that allocated divine waiting off screen.
Dead. Good.
Damn.
Let's say you won the duel, like their items, and have decided to hire them. What combat skills do they bring to the table?
Fucking rat
Right, can
behavior.
spectate and cheer you on. Or
The fuck? Where's the divine?
alternatively,
There's no divine here.
party members that opt out of the fight can spectate and cheer you on. Or they might wish for your demise, so they can pick up that allocated divine waiting off screen.
Dead. Good.
I guess it's random.
Let's say you won the duel, like their items, and have decided to hire them. What combat skills do they bring to the table? Each mercenary has an archetype. Here, this mercenary is an Eruptor, which perfectly couples with my slower, more aura-focused Scion. This mercenary is highly aggressive, and will get a lot of benefit from the auras and
Fuck,
buffs I
it's so
provided.
strong.
When I'm playing a more
So
aggressive character
fucking
myself,
strong.
though, I'll want a mercenary with a bit more resilience and utility. I've just run into a Striker. who can spawn with Vigilant Strike. And if you're lucky, a very rare golden support that causes the Fortify granted by his Vigilant Strike to apply to me as well.
What the fuck?
He will also frequently use
That's
Enduring
OP.
Cry, taunting enemies off of me and operating as a tanky frontline while I blitz off damage from the back. Sometimes when you fight a mercenary, you may notice the skills they're using are different from normal. For example, this sniper is using a
Wait,
Trathan
is
version
this
of
per
Siege
map?
Ballista.
I think this is not
If
gonna
you're
be
lucky,
worth it in
you will be able to
MP.
select it as your reward when challenging them. Then defeat them, and they'll drop the Trathan gem as promised. You can only have one mercenary accompanying you at a time, but up to 3 total in your service. The other 2 will wait patiently in town. Having varied options is useful, as there may be situations where you need specific backup, like a difficult boss fight.
So it's not per map.
Any of your mercenaries you
gonna
have
be
active
so good,
or in
bro.
your reserves can have their equipment replaced with items of your choosing.
What the fuck?
They don't level up, so you will want to be looking out for more skilled and more powerful mercenaries as you advance through the campaign and endgame.
This is gonna be
If your mercenary falls in
fucking
combat,
OP.
you will need to return to town and spend some gold on healing supplies to get them back on their feet. Then perhaps consider giving them some upgrades, if you think it's deserved. I just wanted to clarify, mercenaries do not lose their equipment when defeated. If your
Bro,
merc
that's
buddy
OP.
consistently fails you, you can just dismiss them and find a new, more resilient ally.
It's an anime guardian
walk your
on
path, I'll walk
steroids.
mine.
What the fuck?
Earlier, I mentioned you could exile mercenaries. If you keep running into a mercenary archetype and you think, man, this guy stinks, their gear is trash and they have no auras, you can then choose to exile them. If you win the
Oh,
duel,
cool.
they'll be forced to leave with their tail between their legs, and you won't encounter that archetype again for a while. Now, alongside these new Trathan arrivals, we shouldn't forget about the recent Kalgurin ones too. As we mentioned earlier, the Settlers update introduced gold-based respeccing of passive points. You can now do so by talking to a number of NPCs throughout Rayclast, starting with Bestil and Lionize Watch. Black market item gambling,
Bro, that's
previously
good.
just available in Kingsmarch, is now available in each town at the same NPC. This lets you buy randomly generated item bases for gold. Very useful if you're stuck for upgrades or searching for a specific unique. The currency exchange will be returning too. Starting from Lionize Watch in Act 6, you'll be able to find Faustus, who can help facilitate these trades.
Act 6 Faustus.
Now, after almost a year of building, Johan is finally satisfied with the upgrades made to the town, and now its services can be used to their full effect. Kingsmarch is going core, but there will be no more town building. As you start running maps in the endgame, you'll start to find different ore veins, which Kalgurin workers can mine for you.
Oh shit.
The shipping mechanic invites you to send these ores and crops
Yes,
to Karui and
sir.
Kalgurin ports, and they'll return
Shipping's
rewards in
gonna be
kind.
fucking insane.
By sending
bro.
shipments, you'll receive different items. But by sending to Karui ports, you will also receive tattoos, which can be used on your passive tree to change what stats they grant. The Kalgurin ports will be sending back rune grafts, which is a new passive tree mechanic that replaces the runesmithing service previously offered by the town. These
What
are
is
similar
that?
to tattoos, but instead of replacing stat nodes, they replace a passive tree mastery node. For example, Runegraft of the
Bro.
Bound reduces bonuses gained from boots, but increases bonuses
What?
gained from gloves. Runegraft of the River has a chance to recover your life to full if you reach low life. Reduces
Oh shit. If it's reversed, this is gonna be OP for Cyclone.
bonuses gained from boots,
Because
but
of follow
increases
pump.
bonuses gained from gloves. Runegraft of the River has a chance to recover your life to full if you reach low life. And the
What the
Runegraft of
fuck?
Time, which has a chance for your cooldown skills to instantly recover from their cooldown, which I will note includes cooldowns on your triggers. And the Rune Graft of Time, which
Now
has a
that
chance for your cooldown
is
skills to
gonna be
instantly recover from their cooldown, which I will note includes cooldowns on your
inflating
triggers, just in case you wanted to trigger
in
even
price
more
in no
spells.
time. Holy,
There are many other rune grafts which cover a
that
wide
shit's
range of
OP.
different builds and stats. Some are more common and others rarer. You can only use one of a given type at a time, but you can use them on any mastery on your passive tree, which can be particularly useful
10% damage for each unlinked socket. This is gonna be good for early game. Those attributes, global defense, war cry.
for off-class
Haven't used
investment.
war cry.
Isla has
Ever.
continued to make modifications to the Recombinator. She has developed a new method of recombination that you may recognize from Path of Exile 2. For those unfamiliar, this method allows you to decide which modifiers on the two input items you want to try merge together, and it has a success chance you can see.
Oh, nice. That's good.
This method can result in the items being destroyed.
Bro, that's gonna be insane for idols.
However, it is a good option to use when trying to
If they ever come.
create items with fewer mods to use as crafting projects. Given the existing recombinating
Trash.
mechanic was very
Trash
powerful for
item.
top-end crafting, we didn't want to remove it. We have kept it, and you can now choose to use it the old way or the new way.
Oh,
By letting
nice.
fate decide, it will combine the two items randomly. There is no risk of destroying either item, but it will be less predictable.
Nice. Jesus, take
As Settlers
the
is now
wheel.
a core mechanic, we've also added Atlas passive tree
How
support.
I like it.
For example, if you wanted to gather more Verisium ore, you could take this notable. Each ore has a similar node. Refiner's Bargain converts items dropped by possessed monsters into thaumaturgic dust, sulfite into random ores, and life force into random crops.
Oh,
We've also added a set of Kalguran scarabs, so you can add more ore deposits, increase the rarity of monsters that guard ore deposits to at least magic,
nice.
or gather smelted bars from ore you mark instead of ores.
Bro, nice. So you can farm.
To sum it all up, Kingsmarch is now a
Kalgur.
thriving town where you can employ a swath of workers to collect resources, refine ores, craft items,
That shit's insane.
and run maps for you. Send shipments of resources in exchange for tattoos and rune grafts, using those to modify your passive tree to an extent never seen
Holy
before.
shit.
Following on from that, we've also made a substantial rework to another important mechanic, Betrayal. As a refresher, and to explain to new players, let's briefly explain what Betrayal is.
Betrayal revamp.
Betrayal is a mechanic introduced in Act 9 and tells the
trash.
story of Jun Ortoy and her investigation of the Immortal Syndicate. This is a mysterious group of
Fucking
exiles
2
who can
out of
seemingly
30,
come back
bro.
from death. You must help Jun to uncover their leader,
Wanted to
the Syndicate
kill
Mastermind.
myself in game.
The Immortal Syndicate is organized into 4 divisions: transportation, fortification, research, and intervention. As you encounter the Immortal Syndicate members, you'll gain intelligence for each of these divisions to discover the location of their leaders, tracking them to their safe houses. Defeating the division leaders at their safe houses will reward you with intelligence on the Syndicate Mastermind. In your journey to track down the Syndicate leader, you'll
If in
manipulate
doubt,
the members of
execute.
the Immortal Syndicate to change divisions, form friendships and rivalries, and even banish them from the Syndicate for a time.
I never understood this
Historically,
shit.
after encountering and defeating the Syndicate Mastermind, the state of the Immortal
just
Syndicate would
execute.
reset, requiring you to start from
And
the
then if
beginning of the
there are 3
investigation
stars,
again.
interrogate.
This has always been a difficult decision for players and can often feel bad.
Easy
Do you
Katarina.
fight the Mastermind for a chance at the special loot, or keep farming the safe houses that you've spent so long setting up? Well, in the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've split out the Mastermind to be completely separate from the core mechanic. The boss is now accessible through a new fragment that has a chance to drop from the safe house leaders at
Syndicate
high
medallion.
levels. The Mastermind no longer resets the state of the Immortal Syndicate. You can now build your betrayal board to your liking, optimize it, do Mastermind fights, and reap the rewards without having to lose all your progress every time.
Holy shit, that's good.
The boss fight itself has also been improved, now with significantly fewer immunity phases and new rewards. By the way,
Bro,
if
the
you're a new
immunity
player to Path of
phases
Exile
are
1,
fucking
don't worry about all this
dog
detail.
shit.
This content is optional, and you can discover
Especially on Cyclone.
and engage with it at your own pace. The Mastermind still has a
Because
chance
you can control the dancing dervishes.
to drop a Veiled Orb,
Oh, fucking
now renamed to Veiled
ass.
Exalted Orb. Veiled Chaos Orbs are being re-added to other Safe House leaders. In addition,
What?
chance to drop a
Veiled Exalted. Use a random modifier and adds a random veiled modifier.
Veiled Orb,
Alright.
now renamed to Veiled Exalted Orb.
Alright.
Veiled Chaos Orbs are
New
being
mechanics
re-added
for
to other
crafting.
Safe House leaders. In addition, the
Cool.
Mastermind now drops the new All Flame Embers. All Flame Embers are
What
map
is that?
fragments that replace monster packs and in-game maps with different types of special monsters. These packs have unusual properties, compositions, or rewards. For example, you might use the All Flame Ember of Kulamak, which replaces packs with Syndicate monsters and their leaders, who revive after the map boss has been slain. This might at first sound annoying due to backtracking, but these monsters when revived are far more intense and rewarding.
Oh shit. Juicing.
It is our intention with All Flames to provide many different types that combine with other mechanics, multiplying with your existing modifiers in new and interesting ways.
Juicing.
Another good example of this is the All Flame Ember of Propagation. When slain, special rare monsters added by this All Flame here will spread their modifiers to other rare monsters in the map. This can be useful when trying to create singular, very powerful, and very rewarding monsters. Something akin to meat sacks, which are making a reinvented comeback with this update too. Another is the All Flame Ember of Resplendence, which adds monsters that drop no items. But when you slay them, you get buff stacks of increased quantity and rarity to enhance the drops of all other monsters. All Flame Embers can be
Wait,
items,
what?
but when you slay them, you get buff stacks of
Quantity rarity.
increased quantity and rarity to enhance the drops of all other monsters.
Bro.
All Flame Embers can be placed in your map device like scarabs, and used in conjunction with scarabs to further customize your maps. We're looking forward to seeing which combinations
Oh,
players find to enhance their maps.
Juicing's
Perhaps
gonna
you'll
be
use all
crazy.
scarabs, all flames, or maybe mix and match. It's up to you. The Mastermind's unique items have also been improved.
Juicing's gonna be
The veiled modifiers
crazy.
generated on these items are now from a custom pool exclusive to those uniques. Bitter Bind Point, for example,
Oh shit. They added the +1 specters on shield.
can now have various Spectre-specific outcomes,
What the hell?
such as +1 additional Spectre. Aside from improved rewards from the Mastermind, all the Safe House
Before it was only on mining.
rewards have also
On
been
body.
rebalanced. We've done a pass
Body
on the
armor.
crafting sprees at the end of
Only
many safe
drops from
houses.
mining.
For those who aren't aware how these crafting sprees work, well, it's simple. There's a crafting bench with an item in it and a bunch of currency. There's a limited amount of time, and your only objective is to craft the best item possible
the
before the
fuck?
time ends.
Orb of conflict.
One of the problems that the crafting sprees have is that they often require you to have specific items on hand in order to best maximize your result. But how are you supposed to know that beforehand? In order to solve this, most of the crafting sprees now offer pre-generated items. This has also allowed us to add much more powerful crafting options in each spree. Let's take a look at a few examples. In this spree, a randomly generated amulet or ring will be waiting for you.
Shit, reflecting mist.
Test your crafting skill or luck with this reflecting mist crafting spree, and see if you can create something worthy of Kalandra's praise.
Bro, the timer's so fast, bro.
And in this spree, you will find a pre-generated unique item and a new kind of orb that resembles a Val orb, but not quite the same. Normally, you can only corrupt an item once, but uniques in this spree can be corrupted and re-corrupted
Oh,
as many
shit.
times as there are orbs.
Nice.
This orb also allows you to get 2
The
corrupted
crafting bench
implicits and has a
betrayal is
much lower
useful
chance
now.
to brick the item. It can be a very useful tool for seeking specific corrupted implicit outcomes. Of course, if you
Wait,
push
it
your
doesn't
luck,
brick?
and has a much lower chance to brick the item.
Much
It
lower
can be a
chance
very
only.
useful tool for seeking specific corrupted implicit outcomes. Of course, if you push your luck, you can still ruin the item. There are also
Brick.
crafting sprees where you still need to provide an item, but those items are generally more accessible and it occurs less frequently. This one allows you to bring your own normal rarity item, then just go ballistic with a whole ton of scouring orbs and orbs of chance, hoping to get your ideal unique. For
Mage
most
blood?
sprees,
Question
the
mark.
rank of the syndicate member increases the amount of currency provided, the quality of the pre-generated items, and the time allowed to craft your item. Aside from the crafting sprees, there are other new options too. If you love gambling for currency, how about you try opening Varici's Emperor's Luck chests? These work just like the Emperor's Luck divination card and provide full stacks of currency. If you're lucky enough, unlike me, you could end up with a whole lot of divines. Betrayal is a good source of veiled items. Veiled items have some important quality of life improvements in this expansion too. All of the crafting bench options normally granted by unveiling items are instead now moved to the core game, so you don't need to run Betrayal to unlock them.
Nice.
They are instead found at the entrances to boss rooms and in-game maps. On top of that, you no longer need to speak to Jun to unveil
That shit's
items.
annoying.
You can just
before.
right-click them, or the equivalent on gamepad, and select which veiled modifier you want to unveil. Overall, Betrayal is now much more streamlined and more
Yep.
rewarding. Happy
Good,
interrogations.
good, good.
Shut up!
Shut up. Good, good, good. For betrayal
Now before we get into our
enjoyers.
quality of life additions, let's quickly talk about some character balance. We will be doing our regular character balance changes where we are bringing outliers in line to help evolve the meta, but we are also focusing our attention on buffing some specific things. This includes spellcasting supports that specifically enhance self-casting builds, channeled spells, adding new options to the Guardian, Berserker, Elementalist, Saboteur, and Champion Ascendancy classes,
Holy
which
shit,
include
that's a
some
lot.
favorites from some of the alternate classes from Legacy of Frisia, and
Hey,
buffing a whole
Frisia
bunch of
shout
transfigured
out.
gems that never really hit the mark.
Bro, Frisia
Combined
was
with
so
the new
good.
in-game crafting, improved betrayal crafting options, rune graphs for your passive tree, new pinnacle unique items, new modifiers and Trathan gems from the mercenaries, and of course the mercenaries themselves to act as an extension to your character, it's safe to say there's a lot of new character options and builds to think about. Instead of delving into all of these in more
Goddamn
detail,
right
we
about
figured
that.
we'd just let you absorb them through the patch notes so you can do it at your own pace. In the Secrets of the Atlas expansion, we've also added a lot of the quality of life features that we know you've all been asking for. A lot of
Think I'm
these have
gonna
already
go
been posted,
Cyclone.
but let's take a look now in case you
Things
missed
go
any.
well.
You can now pause the game
Cyclone.
at any time by pressing escape to open the menu,
League
or by
Star.
opening any full screen interface, like the passive tree. You'll also be paused if any lag is detected or if you disconnect. It's worth noting that in certain Pinnacle arenas, a debuff will be applied to you that prevents you from pausing. We're
Wait,
also
you
making
can
a chain
pause?
disconnect. It's worth noting that in certain Pinnacle arenas, any full screen interface, like the passive tree. You'll also be paused if any lag is detected or if you disconnect.
Nice.
It's worth noting that in certain Pinnacle
That's
arenas,
from
a
PoE
debuff will
too.
be applied to you that prevents you from pausing.
That's so good. Yes, bro.
We're also making a
yes.
change to how you use currency items on strongboxes and monsters imprisoned in essences.
Less dying.
Based on the currency in your inventory and the state of the strongbox,
That's
these
good.
buttons will appear. Valuable currency like divine orbs have been excluded from this as it would often be wasteful to use in this context. The same applies to essences with the remnant of corruption currency.
That's cool.
Orbs of Horizon have been updated. They can now re-roll your Elder and Conqueror Guardian maps.
Oh,
Doing so
Oh,
will
shit.
re-roll the base map and the Guardian
I
of that
haven't
map.
used that orb.
The map device now has a small additional inventory.
Ever
This
since.
is particularly
Now I'm
useful
gonna
if you're
use it.
rolling many maps to run in sequence, or if you want to use varying
Oh,
amounts of
shit.
scarabs or other map fragments.
Oh shit.
This is particularly useful if you're rolling many maps to run in sequence.
Bro. It's a very nice quality of life. Just
Or
fucking
if you want to
shred
use
through
varying
those
amounts of
maps.
scarabs or other map fragments. During breach encounters, all the splinters will be automatically collected and dropped at the end of the breach.
Oh, nice.
On gamepads, we have separated the targeting of monsters
Faster
and non-monsters,
farming.
so you are able to target them independently. This removes a
What?
bunch of frustration when you are trying to interact with objects in the world and
Oh,
monsters
this
are nearby.
for
You no longer have to kill all of them
PlayStation.
first.
We don't give a shit about this.
Vendor windows will now remember your last search. This is remembered until you log out and is remembered on a per NPC basis.
Oh, okay.
The amount of characters you can type in the search field has also been increased. When using currency items, after right-clicking them, it will
Nice.
highlight all other items which that currency can be used on.
Ooh.
There are many
okay.
other quality of life improvements, so keep an eye on the patch notes after this livestream concludes. Alongside the launch of Secrets of the Atlas, we are hosting a competitive event where players will race to be the first to kill the new pinnacle bosses. The event will take place in the hardcore, solo self-found Mercenaries of Trathis League. We have some interesting prizes in store for the winners. Keep an eye on the news in the lead up to launch for more details about how the event will
We
work
don't care
and
about
what its
that.
prizes are.
We're not gonna be able
Next
to
up,
do that.
we're going to be talking about our new League supporter packs. Today, we're launching two
There's
new
so
series
much
of supporter
more
packs.
players that's
The
better
Frisian
than
Magistrate
us.
and Crypt Keeper packs. Each tier contains the pack's full face value in points, alongside several exclusive microtransactions. As always, the microtransactions in these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way. The Frisian Magistrate series of supporter packs contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Frisian Magistrate character effect will bind your character in thorny vines and roses. You can select which parts of the
ugly.
character you want to have covered. Either your entire body, your lower body, or your upper body. As you approach waypoints, it will emit leaves and golden petals towards it.
Oh,
When
that's
activating the
kinda cool,
waypoint,
though.
it will create a burst around you. Envelop your weapon in thorny vines and golden flora with the Frisian Magistrate weapon effect. Your weapon will also create a trail to match as you swing, and even comes with its own hit effect when slaying enemies. You are the
That
law
looks like
while
shit,
wearing the
bro.
armor of the powerful Frisian
Oh,
Grand
this one's
Magistrate.
nice.
The Spider Blossom Pet activates its defense mechanism, disguising it as an elegant flower when near rare or unique enemies. The Frisian Imperial Magistrate back attachment comes in 2
Ooh.
forms. Equip either the
This
Tombstone
one's
variant,
nice.
which will leave tombstones in your honor when you meet your demise, or equip the Cape variant to cause the corpses of slain enemies to become enveloped in rose thorn vines and blossom with golden flowers. Keep track of how well
That's
or
pretty
poorly
cool.
your ultimatums with the Trial Master have gone with the Trials of Chaos hideout decoration. It will keep track of the total number of waves completed, the total number of ultimatums succeeded, or even failed. On top of that, it will track the total number of times you've defeated the Trial Master himself. The Crypt Keeper Pack series also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. With the Crypt Keeper finisher effect, death itself will tear
Damn.
through into the realm of the living and steal the soul of slain unique enemies.
What the hell?
The Crypt Keeper portal effect
More
creates
lag.
a gateway for lost souls to pass through.
I don't even use the Kalgur finisher.
Become
So
the
much
true master of the
fucking lag.
undead by wearing the hallowed Crypt Keeper armor set.
Ooh,
It comes with a more
This
armored
one's
helmet variant and a creepy
really
mask
nice.
with a spectral hood.
Damn, that
Looking to
looks
have
good.
some fun during idle time in your hideout? The Burrowing Bramble Bash hideout decoration will test your reaction speed as you try to whack as many Devourer heads as possible in the shortest time. It also
Guacamole.
comes with a scoreboard, so you can try to set new records to show off to your friends or just visitors coming to
Guacamole.
trade. Equip yourself with the
Fucking hate
Ghostly
that
Dead as you
monster,
ride
bro.
the line between the living and the dead
Fucking
with the
whack-a-mole.
Sacred Crypt Keeper back attachment. The Sacred Archives map device resembles a magical
Wait, that
library
looks
with the works
amazing.
of scholars that come to
That's
life
me,
when you open a map.
not
Sacred
you.
Crypt
My
Keeper back
bad.
attachment.
And that's
The
holy shit, that looks nice. Your cape is like smoke coming out from the skulls.
The Sacred Archives
looks
map
really
device
good.
resembles a magical library with the works of scholars that come to life when you open a map. This map device tracks how
Nice
many
map
of each
device
core
too.
league you've completed in in-game maps. These packs are now available for purchase on both PC and console, and will remain so during Path of Exile, Mercenaries of Trathus. Additionally, any microtransactions from these supporter packs will be made available for use in Path of Exile 2. Meanwhile, the Paladin and Penance packs leave the store forever at the launch of the Mercenaries of Trathus League, so now's your last chance to purchase them. Additionally, the Dawn of the Hunt
FOMO.
mystery box will be made available for Path of Exile 1. If you have already unlocked any microtransactions from this box in Path of Exile 2,
The fuck
you will
is
of
this?
course immediately have access to them in Path of Exile 1. Thank you so much for your ongoing
Oh,
support.
it's PoE 2, I think. Damn. I think that's pretty good. So we're gonna be streaming this on Kick. June 13, so it's gonna be 14 here.
We must save
Yes, sir.
my sister.
Alright. I guess the 1 year wait was worth it all along.